Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is my January cozy vlog part 2. So I'm just here doing some plastic canvas, and I found like a new to me retro ASMR artist, and her sets are so amazing. It's like being transported into time. So because I've been super stressed and anxious, I've been just listening to a lot of ASMR. So anyway, I was doing a few things around the house as well. So one of those lamps that I showed in my thrift with me, I decided to put that in the living room because, I don't know, even though we have a lot of lamps like I just showed, it's just always so dark in here. I don't get a lot of natural light. So I mentioned in last video that we had a vet appointment for Marley, so today was that day. And she's been having some trouble with her paws, so I wanted that to be looked at, and it's just nice for her to be looked at in general, like have her temperature taken and weighed and stuff. And she got her shot, and the vet basically just explained that just her age, things just happen and there's not a lot they can do. But anyway, I think the lamp looks good there, so I was happy with that. So I was gonna make this goulash recipe. I feel like this recipe came from maybe allrecipes.com. John actually made it for his parents when they came to visit back in the fall, but it was really, really good. So I think he's made it at another time, and I've made it a couple times. So doing that, I just have some Impossible ground beef that I'm using this time. I just had it in the freezer, and and I'm starting the dishes as I'm starting to cook because clean as you go. I'm putting away all the plastic bags I washed, I think the day before. I usually let them sit for a full 24 hours to make sure they're dry before I put them away. But I also had a big project to do on this day, and that was give the fridge a full deep clean. I ended up taking everything out of the fridge and just doing a really good clean, getting rid of any expired food. And I've really been trying to use up all the things in between my fridge and my pantry and the freezer and stuff. But I needed some Worcestershire sauce for that recipe, and I just make that myself, but I knew that we were out, so I had to make a batch of that. And oddly, one of the main ingredients in that is cinnamon, which you wouldn't think. I think ginger as well, which that's not as weird, but the cinnamon kind of threw me the first time I made it, but it turns out perfectly fine. Conventional usually has some type of something that's not vegan, so you can buy a vegan version, but it's really expensive. So a long time ago someone told me, that's really easy to make, right? I didn't, but now I do. So the only thing is it makes the house, because another main ingredient is vinegar, and it's super strong, to boil vinegar on the stove, so you can imagine. Super wintry though. It's making me feel really happy feeding Marley in a weird place, because that's just how she is. But I did get the fridge all sorted out, and I moved the shelves around. I'm not the biggest fan of this fridge. I really want a fridge that the fridge part is on the top. But it's the fridge that was here when we moved in, and there's nothing wrong with the fridge outside of me just not liking it. So I'll keep using it, but eventually I hope to get a different one. So I found a bunch of different, just basically I wanted to kind of clear everything out, so I just grated up the pieces of cheese that I had in the fridge so that I would know to use them for something, and then I could just get rid of the packaging. And then I found some maraschino cherries in the fridge, so I was well, I guess I should just make an upside down cake. So I did that. Marley got up by this point, so I just hung out with her while that was baking. And I used a different recipe for that, and I did not think it was going to turn out. But I was well, I'm just going to bake it anyway. The batter just seemed really thick. but it did turn out, but I don't remember the recipe I used. So I don't know, but it turned out really well. I couldn't find the recipe I normally use. I think that's why I just Googled something. But I'm putting the leftover goulash away. I think we ended up having like a meal that day, and then I think maybe even like 4 more portions. I can't remember because all of the days are just like mixed up together because I was on an emotional roller coaster with Marley at this time. But anyway, once that was done, I decided to have a tea and a piece of cake and watch my stories with Marley. Although she didn't really watch today. She just put her head down and went to sleep, but she was there. And I had brought her tower up because we usually kept it in the basement, but unfortunately she just can't use it anymore because of her paw issues. So, and then I think after I ate my cake, I just did some more plastic canvas while I was watching. It's actually so strange to see her like this, because things have gotten like worse since then, but at this point, I'm kind of thinking everything's fine because she had just been to the vet. So I made a sale on Etsy, which this is like where we keep all the movies, but I've also been kind of using it as like a pseudo office. And as you can see, it is such a disaster down there because I haven't had time to like deal with anything. But I had to go down and pack this order, and I feel like I didn't even fully show you the scope of how messy and like piled up it is down there. But I sold this Zodiac mug. I actually used to have the same one like years ago with my sign on it, but I sold that, so I had to get that packed up. But I guess we were watching a movie, but I don't remember what movie, but I did get this cleaned up. I think it took me like 2 days of being down there while Marley was sleeping. John's actually been working from the living room since Marley's been sick, so I got it all cleaned up. Well, a lot cleaner, but I enter all of the movies into an Excel sheet, and that's how we like keep track of them because there's so many. So these are all the ones that I've thrifted over the past few months that I haven't entered yet. And then I noticed this movie. I turned on Turner Classic Movies one day and this movie was playing and I was so intrigued. And then I think I found the VHS right after, or maybe I found it before. I can't remember, but I still haven't watched it yet, even though I seen a little part of it on TCM and I was like, this looks so good. But I still haven't made time for that. So just hanging out with Marley upstairs, I guess. And I'm making like the super lazy thing to eat because I've just been, like I said, an emotional wreck. I'm feeling a little bit better right now because she's just been to the vet, even though it was an emergency. I guess maybe I always feel the best like right after she's been to the vet. So anyway, and I'm drinking some aspartame, which I rarely ever do, but there was caffeine in that Mountain Dew, so I felt like I needed it because I honestly feel a little bit like a zombie because I haven't been sleeping much and I've been so worried. But that's why I figured I should edit these videos while I'm feeling okay and able to talk about it, I guess, without having a breakdown because she's just been to the vet. So I feel like she's not gonna just pass away like right now because she's just seen the vet. And he's like, no, things are, I mean, it's not great, but she's 20, so I don't know. Okay, now I'm starting to get a little emotional. One thing that always stays the same, though, is she's always excited to go to bed. So she's always very excited to come upstairs when she sees me getting in bed, which is usually pretty early. And she always, I think I've mentioned it a bunch of times, and you've probably seen it, but she loves taking your hand. So I pretty much have to just give that to her. Otherwise, she'll just keep pawing at it. So she just likes to use it as a pillow. So the next morning, I really had some nut butter that I wanted to use up because I'd had it for a little while. Like I didn't want it to go like rancid. So I made some peanut butter chocolate chip cookies, and then I had some cashew butter. So I just made the recipe the same, but I made it with cashew butter instead of peanut butter. I used white chocolate chips, vegan ones. So I did that, and John had gone to the store for me because I had cleaned out our like linen closet where I keep cleaning supplies to see like if there's anything I needed. And I needed magic erasers, but he actually found these ones that were a lot cheaper. And I always cut my sponges, so like I don't even use magic erasers that frequently, but I feel like there's just certain things where nothing works as good as a magic eraser, and I was completely out. So yeah, I ended up cutting them into like 3, each one into 3, so I got 9. That will probably honestly last me like a year and a half, or if not more. And then I also got a new vacuum. I've been wanting this vacuum for a long time, but it's really expensive. I think it's like $70 or something, which is, I mean, it's just a tiny vacuum. It's not worth $70. I mean, it does work great, but it was on sale for $39 or $29, I think. And we have like money that we get from purchases from the store, so it actually only ended up costing $18. And I have actually, as you can see, I think it might be a different brand. I've had it for so long that the brand is worn off, but it didn't have the bottom piece, and I just wanted this for our main level so I could quickly go over the rugs. Like I pretty much vacuum every day, but I hate getting the big vacuum out to do that. It's also super strong, so it like sucks the mats up, and it's just super annoying. So it ended up working out great. It was actually stronger suction than I expected, so it's like perfect. And for $18, can't go wrong. And then I'm just going to keep the old vacuum that I've had forever upstairs to like go over the wood floors to pick up it's mainly like Marley's fur in my hair, but I think it's the day after that. And because I've been feeling like crap and not sleeping and stuff, I was like, I need to just like eat some salad every day or something, like more healthy food. So I'm making salads for myself for like a few days ahead. And I'm making this, it's like a HelloFresh, but it's called Chef's Plate, or yeah, I think it's called Chef's Plate. So I was just remaking one of the recipes that we had got from there for John for like a few days. That way I'd have like healthy food already prepared for myself. And hopefully I would feel better. So I made a couple for like the coming days, and then I actually made a small one in the like cereal bowl to eat like at that point for breakfast. And then I just prepped up some extra ingredients for after those salads, like after I eat them. And yeah, that way I'm not eating like an English muffin pizza as like the only form of food for an entire day. But yeah, so Marley seems to be doing like okay at this point. But like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like I can tell that she's not like her normal self. And I don't know, maybe I know her better than like anyone. So like more than her vet, or like I just spend the most time with her. And yeah, I don't know. But anyway, more dishes. And I did bake some of the cookies, but what I usually do is just bake a few, and then I put the rest in the freezer, like on a cookie sheet. And then once they're frozen, I put them in Ziploc bags and put them in the freezer. And then at any point, you can have like a fresh baked cookie. I mean, you have to wait for it to bake, but that way it's nice. And I actually still have some in the freezer. So maybe I'll have some of those soon. But John's samosa bowl turned out really well. I'd only ever made it the one time when we got the meal, but he likes to have this tamarind. It says sour cream because I used to make my own sour cream, but I think it's like a mango chutney in there. And I'm just eating my salad upstairs with Marley while probably watching General Hospital. And she always tries to like get at my food, or she wants to know what I'm eating. And I always joke with her and I'm like, Marley, you're not a vegan. You need to accept it. But yeah, so we are watching General Hospital. I'm probably getting caught up, but she ended up going for a little nap. I love when she curls up like this in a little ball. She's so cute, so tiny. She's like sleeping on my lap right now as I'm recording this voiceover. So then this was a Saturday. This is the day when everything like went to hell, but I didn't know that it was going to go to hell at this point. So I'm downstairs in the room that I cleaned out, and I had bought this wrapping paper organizer from Amazon, but it took like a little while to get here. So I wanted one that was like could hold wrapping paper but also had all these pockets for like the other things. I just wanted to be able to keep everything together in one place. So I do have this other one, this one here. I thrifted this a few years ago, which is great, but I just feel like I've outgrown it now at this point. Like I found a bunch of vintage wrapping paper this year, so I wanted to be able to like store it in a way that was completely closed and just it wasn't going to get damaged. So I was like, you know what, it's just worth spending. It wasn't even expensive. I think it was maybe like $30. There was some cheaper ones, but like I said, I wanted one with the pockets so I could put like tags and things in there. And then I had picked up this pack of wrapping paper after Christmas. It was like 40 or 50% off because I had a couple in there that sort of had a little bit of a vintagey feel, like more of a kind of timeless look to them. So those were actually individually wrapped inside, which ended up working out really well. So I was down there just, feeling great, doing like this organizing project. I was like, oh, this is going to be so great. So just completely unaware of what was about to happen. I also found the Christmas cards I've been looking for all season in the most random place too. There even was stamps in here from last year. So I'm happy that I found them, but I tore the house apart looking for those, and down in the storage unit, like I just couldn't understand what happened. I thought I must have accidentally donated those things. I'm thankful I didn't, because there's other important stuff in there that I was happy that I didn't accidentally donate. But I ended up fitting all the paper in. It's amazing. I ended up keeping 4 of the rolls from that pack I bought after Christmas. I just kept the ones that I felt were most, I don't know, like vintagey Christmas, I guess. But the other 4 rolls, there's this charity thing I want to do. I found out about it too late this year, or like last Christmas, but I want to do it this Christmas. And one of the things that they is like rolls of wrapping paper, and since they're new and sealed, I thought it would be perfect for that. So hopefully that works out this year. But yeah, so this worked out great. I'm so happy with it. So after I got done doing this, we were going to watch a movie. So we were watching a movie in the living room, and Marley came in and she jumped up on the couch with us, but she's facing us, so we can't see her. Like we can see the front of her. Basically, she jumps down a little while later, and I noticed that she has her back completely like torn open. And so I like scream when I see it because it's all bloody and stuff. And I know what she's done. Like I know that she did it to herself because she has skin issues. That's why she gets the shots. So I know that she did it to herself. I mean, it's a massive like open wound. So I'm freaking out. I know that she's going to keep digging at it. So I'm holding her so that she can't do that. Well, John's trying to figure out, like, because our vet is closed because it's a Saturday. So he's like trying to call other vets, potentially in the area that might see us, like where it's an emergency, but no luck with that because she's not like I don't know, she doesn't belong to that vet. Anyway, he finally gets a hold of a number for emergencies, like from our vet. He calls it, or like he calls them, I guess, yeah, and he gets a message saying like what it is or whatever. Anyway, he finally gets a hold of the actual vet. I'm like in the bathroom holding Marley, like crying because I think because she doesn't want like being held that much, but I don't want to let her go either. So anyway, she's able to get to the vet. We're like thinking like that he's gonna have to like stitch her up, but it was like right by her shoulder blades, so he's like, yeah, even if I stitched this up, like she'll pull the stitches out just from walking. So she has to just get like bandaged up, but she's gets like a bunch of painkillers, and she has to wear this like onesie as well. So I was feeling okay about it after like she got home a little bit, because she had obviously been to see the vet and she couldn't dig at herself anymore. So this is her coming home. I thought I was going to get a really cute shot of her in this like cat onesie, but once John opened the door, I realized that she had actually pulled like one of her arms out of it, so she couldn't really walk. So I just had to run over and help her right away. But she did look very cute in it, but she was very, very uncomfortable in it. And Marley's so tiny that here she is. We're trying to get her to eat. The painkillers were super strong, so he said it would be like she was drunk almost. So we're like, okay, but she's so tiny that even this extra small cat onesie was so big on her. But I ended up managing to get it. I just had to like fold the back part up. But I was so worried. We actually had to, because Marley drinks from the sink. So John had to actually like stay up with her like all night until I got up in the morning at 4, because like we couldn't let her do that by herself. So it was quite the night, but you can kind of see there's like a big bandage underneath, but she was so unhappy in this. It also had like a turtleneck, and so it was just weird, and she's so tiny that she was just very uncomfortable. But the first like 24 hours were just she was falling over, and I just felt so bad for her. So after, I don't know, I think like not eating for 24 hours, I just made us these club sandwiches and this fries and gravy. So we're eating that. She's like settled here on the couch, but I did get her to drink water from a bowl. I just thought, I'm just gonna try, because otherwise like one of us is gonna have to be up with her like all the time. I don't know how sustainable that is. So after, I was so thankful that she would drink from the bowl, and she's been drinking from it ever since, so that's great. But we were able to take the cat onesie off her and take her bandage off. We had this like onesie for humans for sale. It's like a 3 to 6 month, but I was like, maybe we should just try that. It was still big on her, but it was like much more comfortable, and we could tell that she was feeling better, like being in that versus that cat onesie. So but John ended up going out and he got her some 0 to 3 month onesie. So I was like, maybe we should try 0 to 3 months and see. And even those are slightly big on her, but she just looks so cute in the shirts. We can't get over it. So I was feeling really sick this day. I was in bed, but John came in and he was like, oh, you got another Christmas card. So many of you sent cards with cats on them. I think it's so cute. So that was nice, because yeah, I remember how sick I felt that day, but my little cat nurse was there to helped me out. So the wound on her back actually has been healing pretty well. She just went to the vet, like I said, for another issue 2 days ago now. And the doctor was pretty impressed with how well it's healing. So, yeah, but anyway, she's still here with us. She's still hanging on. So anyway, I'm gonna try to get caught up on vlogs. So, and then a lot of you said that you like my kind of home stuff. So I feel a little bit better about not being able to go out and do thrift with me videos. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this. And if you missed it, like I just posted part 1 yesterday. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I might see you again with another new video tomorrow or maybe the next day. I'm going to try to get them edited to get like caught up to real time. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you probably very soon.